All right, Diego. So this is kind of a recap from our first lesson and just kind of seeing your mechanics from an outside perspective. So I'm just going to play it real quick and you can look at it, see what you think, and then I'll kind of give an analysis of it. So here it is. Alrighty, so let's talk about this real quick. So we talked about the main thing today was talking about the 5-step plan, which is first, number 1 is the base, which we get to here. That's our base. Then we get to number 2 here, which is our setup right here. Now, one thing that I'm going to try, because I didn't even see this, and this is why I do these videos so I can see it. Look at where so this is where our center of gravity should be, right? And if you notice, then, look at this. We're going more towards out. So what I'm going to work on next time is kind of getting us more in an athletic stance to where our head is going to be at the center of this. So realistically, I'm going to make your head be about right here. Actually, you know what? Let me clear this and redo it. Your head's going to be right here, and your center of mass, I know that's really bad, but you get what I'm trying to say. Pretty much we're going to try to get there. So we got to our setup. Then we get to our load here. Now, here's the thing. There's something that I didn't really want to touch on today, but this is big when it comes to timing, when it comes to your hands. When we come up, these hands also need to come up. So I want you to think about it, that your body is a chain, okay? And whenever you're pitching, it has to all flow together because it's all about timing, all about rhythm, right? So realistically, when I'm coming up here, my hand should be right here as well. And then whenever we do our separation right here, right there is when we need to start to separate. Now, this is not that bad. This is actually pretty good. Overall, kind of just looking at it from here, I do want to talk about, so we get to the shift right here. First of all, this is great right here. This really is great, Diego. You're getting down the mound, which is really, really good for us, okay? That's really good. And we release right here. So we're out front of our body, which is really, really solid, especially for your first lesson and the first time pitching, really, really solid. Now, what's going to be the big thing is getting here. So realistically, we don't want to bend, and this is something I'm going to talk about right now. When we're loading, we're going to want to start so we want to stay up here until, let's see if I get it perfectly. So we're up here, and then this point right here is where we should be starting to go downhill. So you dip just a little bit early. We need to build this momentum right here, build this load, which whenever we bring your hands up to here, which is going to help a little bit too, the arm separation right now, what I want to do, because this is fine for right now, but realistically, we need to, I don't know how to necessarily explain this in words. I mean, it's honestly fine. I'll try to demonstrate what I'm talking about next lesson. The reason why it's hard for me to explain it in words is just because how I would phrase it would not make necessarily the most sense, rather than if I show you what I mean, then you'll understand what I'm saying. So just, because now I want to contradict myself and say that's totally fine. Well, you know what? We'll keep working on it and we'll see. How about that? And again, I mean, the thing about being a pitching coach and giving pitching lessons is it's not a concrete formula for everyone. What works for someone else isn't going to work for the other person. So I don't want to mess up what's natural. If that's your natural arm movement for right now, I don't want to mess it up. because as of right now, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. And also check this out. Remember when we talked about this whip action here? Look at this. Look at that. That is really, really solid for your first time. So that's really, really good. Now, parents, the reason I have this line right here, it's called the body blade. The reason I have this is because originally when Diego was throwing, he kind of, if you notice, he wants to step across. So he would finish like right there every single time. Now, what I talked to Diego about is that usually when we start throwing, when a person starts throwing, one of two things usually happens. They either finish out here or they come across their body like that. So, thankfully, this is an easy fix doing this. Now, I will say, I think the biggest thing is I really, 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 really want to get this leg. Actually, let me get the arrow thing here. I want to get this leg just a little bit more up because I think Diego can do it, and I think that's also because he kind of spins around like this, which isn't necessarily terrible, but it's all about control. So for right now, I kind of want to get rid of the turn just for him when we're starting off. Now, whenever we nail down our mechanics and, he's balanced and he's doing everything properly, then we can add in a little bit of a twist because kind of like hitting, we want to have some type of twist to gain momentum towards the mound, right? And for this case, it would be towards the plate. So this is perfectly fine. Now, the thing about the twist is right here, it's just, if you could kind of see what I'm trying to get at here, why I talk about, when I first start with pitchers, is I don't like the twist because watch where this glove goes. So we want to take that glove and tuck it, but as you can see, he's taking this glove and he's wrapping it. Oh, dang it. This isn't like my other app. That stinks. Okay, then I'll have to use this. He wraps it around like that rather than it should be a tuck like that, because that's also going to help him finish over his front side, which, I'll be honest, he does a really, really great job here. Now, the only thing about this part, the delivery, is we need to get this leg straight. Let me explain the reasoning behind this, okay? So, picture it like a catapult here, right? So, as I'm moving it, I'm hoping it'll show in the video, like a catapult, when it comes over like that, we're going to gain more momentum rather than if it's like this, right? Because then it can't come over itself very well. It kind of just falls out like right here, right? So we need to get this leg straight. Now, think about it is when we land like this, right? Our leg should be here. So it's going to land like that. And then this is when it needs to straighten. So he's right there and straight right there. As soon as he's about to come over, that's where our leg has to, I don't know what that is. Our leg needs to get straight like this, just because of our body's like a catapult, if that makes any sense. Which I'll keep explaining to Diego about that. But overall, I must say, for a first lesson, Diego did extremely well, and I'm very impressed about how well he has kind of taken on pitching. Of course, the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's going to take time to get there, but honestly, Diego is at a really good pace, especially for starting out pitching, and how athletic and strong he is, we're going to be able to work with him. So first of all, great job on that, Diego, and we'll talk about it more in the next lesson, but hopefully this video makes sense and you kind of get where I'm coming with a couple things.